What if I told you that at 80, you could still be part of that special 1%? Not because of physical strength, not because of wealth, but because of something much deeper, something unseen, but felt, around the world, from big cities to small villages. Many people are getting older, but few are getting older. Do you still wake up in the morning with a small sense of gratitude? Can you still smile, even at the simplest things? Is your heart still able to say, "It's okay, I choose peace"? And most importantly, can you still feel the warmth of love? If the answer is yes, then you are stronger than you think. Age 80 is not the end of the story. It's the quietest chapter. And the deepest. Like a gentle afternoon sun, not dazzling, but beautiful. This video isn't about aging. It's about growing up. It's not about what's gone, but about what still shines. Because the truth is simple. A heart that remains warm never grows old. And maybe, without you realizing it, you're already in that 1%. Let's walk together, slowly, calmly, meaningfully. Because this journey is still beautiful. Imagine this. You're 80 years old. Your hair has turned white like winter snow. Your steps aren't as brisk as they used to be, but one morning, you open your eyes, and a small feeling emerges. I'm glad I'm still alive today. Did you know? Not everyone at 80 has that feeling. Many are still alive, but no longer feel alive. And among the millions of older people around the world, only a small percentage still possess this first ability. A seemingly simple ability, yet incredibly rare. Today we'll discuss it in a relaxed manner. Without rushing, like an afternoon walk in a quiet park. Welcome to you, wise friends from all over the world, wherever you are. If you enjoy this heartwarming conversation, don't forget to support this channel by subscribing and sharing it with your peers. Because here, we don't discuss age with fear, we discuss it with respect. Now, let's begin. The first ability still being able to wake up in the morning with enthusiasm. Not just waking up, not just opening your eyes, but waking up with the feeling that today still has meaning. When we're young, we wake up early because of obligations. Work, school, responsibilities, life feels like a bullet train. We pass station after station without a chance to see the scenery. But at 80, the train slows down, and that's precisely the beauty. Because when it slows down, we begin to see details we once missed. The sound of morning birds, the breeze touching the curtains, the sunlight slowly streaming in. If you can still wake up and say, "Today I want to enjoy something," then you belong to a very special group. Imagine an 84-year-old woman. She lives alone in her small house. Her steps are slow. Her hands tremble slightly. But every morning, she performs a simple ritual. She sits in a chair by the window, waiting for the sun to rise. As the first rays of light touched her face, she closed her eyes for a moment. Not to sleep again, but to feel. She was no longer chasing the world. She was enjoying it. And that was a big difference. In countries with high life expectancies, many seniors live long lives not only because of modern medicine, but because they still have little reasons to get up in the morning. Those little reasons could be watering the flowers, feeding the birds, a 10-minute walk in the yard, waiting for a text from a grandchild, or simply reading the morning news. Small things, but consistent. And at 80, happiness is no longer about grand achievements. It's like a small candle in a dark room, not dazzling, but enough to provide light. In the past, you might have needed 3 alarm clocks to wake up. Now, sometimes you wake up before the alarm goes off. The body has its own system, a faithful biological clock. Sometimes we wake up at 5 a.m. and think, okay, the day has begun. Maybe that used to be annoying. Now, it can be the most peaceful time of the day. The house is still quiet, the world isn't busy yet, and you have a private moment with life. Life at 80 is like a small bonfire at night. When you were young, life was like fireworks, loud, fast, colorful. But fireworks are fleeting. A small bonfire. It lasts a long time. Warm, steady, calm. If you can still wake up in the morning with a warm heart, that means your bonfire is still burning. And believe me, a small, steady flame is far more powerful than a big, quickly fading explosion. It's not about how strong your body is. It's not about how far you can walk. It's about one simple thing. Do you still have a reason to get up? If the answer is yes, even if it's a small reason, then you're extraordinary, because many people lose their zest long before age 80. But you still choose to show up, and that's no small feat. Every morning in old age is like a new page in a nearly finished book. The book may already be thick, full of stories, full of experiences. And now, every last page feels the most precious. You no longer read in a hurry. You read with awareness, and perhaps this is the little secret of a long life. Not just more years, but more meaning. And we understand that the first rare ability at 80 is still waking up with enthusiasm and gratitude. Simple, yet powerful. If tomorrow morning you open your eyes, and you smile a little, remember, you are one of the special 1%. Because you are not just alive, you are still feeling alive. And that is an extraordinary gift. Next, we'll talk about a second ability, which may seem ordinary, but at 80, it becomes truly extraordinary. The question is simple. Can you still laugh, genuinely? Not a polite laugh, not a laugh out of politeness, but a laugh that comes from the heart, the kind that makes your eyes narrow a little, and your chest feel lighter. Did you know, in many parts of the world, the ability to continue laughing into old age is actually a sign of great inner strength. And only a few truly possess it, and we'll talk about it casually, like sitting on a park bench sharing stories. When you're young, laughter is easy. The smallest things can be funny. A comedy makes us laugh out loud. A friend makes a simple joke, and we burst out laughing. But life is long. There's loss, there's failure, there's separation, there's change. Many people, over time, lose the ability to laugh lightly. Not because they don't want to, but because their hearts feel heavier. If at 80 you can still laugh, even at the smallest things, that's not a sign that you're not taking life seriously. It's a sign that you've understood life. Imagine an 81-year-old man. He's sitting with his young grandson. His grandson mispronounces a word. Everyone in the room smiles. The man laughs softly. Not because the word is funny, but because he sees life moving on. He was once a child. He was once a young father. And now he's a grandfather. He laughs, because he views the circle of life with a sense of peace. His laugh isn't loud, but warm, and laughter like that is invaluable. In many cultures, older adults who maintain a light-hearted sense of humor often appear to be emotionally healthier. Why? Because laughter is a form of acceptance. Laughter is saying to life, I don't have to control everything. And at 80, the greatest wisdom is knowing that not everything needs to be controlled. Some things are simply enjoyable. Sometimes at this age, we forget where we put our glasses. Then we look all over the house for them, and it turns out they're already on our heads. Before, we might have been upset. Now, we can smile and say, my brain is taking a break. That's not weakness. It's the ability to be less hard on ourselves, and that's very rare. Imagine life like an old tree. The trunk may not be as smooth as it once was. The bark is cracked, but the roots are deep. The wind comes, the storm comes. The tree doesn't fall easily. Why? Because it has weathered many seasons. A person who can still laugh at 80 is like a strong old tree. They are no longer surprised by small storms. He knows. Even storms will pass. Laughter is not a sign of childishness. Laughter is not a sign of immaturity. Laughter is a sign of an unhardened heart. If you can still laugh at small mistakes, smile at old memories, enjoy simple humor, then you have incredible inner strength. Because many people lose their laughter long before the age of 80. At this stage of life, You don't have to prove anything anymore. You don't have to compete. There's no rush. You deserve to enjoy the small moments. And laughter is the soul's way of saying, I'm still light. I'm still alive. Try to remember the last time you smiled for no reason. Maybe it was when you saw a bird in the yard. Maybe it was when you heard an old song. Maybe it was when you remembered a story from your youth. That's no small thing. That's mental health. And we learn that the second rare ability at 80 is still being able to laugh with a light heart. Because laughter in old age isn't about humor. It's about acceptance. It's about peace. It's about gentle wisdom. If you still have a little laughter in your life, keep it. Because it's a sign that your heart remains young, even as you age. Next, we'll discuss the third ability, which is the secret strength of many extraordinary seniors. It's not about physical strength. It's not about perfect memory, but about something deeper. The question is simple. At 80, can you still forgive? If the answer is yes, then you belong to a very rare group. Because forgiving after decades of life experience is not easy. But that's where greatness of heart lies, and we'll talk about it slowly. Like opening an old photo album, with a calm heart. Living for 80 years means you've met many people. Some were kind, some hurt, some came briefly, some left without explanation. In that long journey, it's impossible not to have hurt. But few people at 80 are still able to say, I choose to let go. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending the hurt never existed. Forgiveness means you no longer carry that burden every day. And that is freedom. Imagine an 83-year-old woman. She once had a terrible fight with her best friend. They haven't spoken for decades. Every time she thinks about it, her heart feels heavy. But one day, she sits alone in the living room. The afternoon light slowly streams in. She says quietly to herself, my life is too precious to be filled with old anger. She can't change the past, but she can choose how she feels today. And when she chooses to forgive, her chest feels lighter. It's like opening a long closed window. Fresh air comes back in. In many cultures around the world, older people who have inner peace are often those who have made peace with the past. Not because their lives are perfect, but because they realize, carrying anger for too long is like holding a heavy stone in your hands. The stone doesn't hurt anyone else, it just exhausts us. And at 80, energy is too precious to waste on old baggage. Sometimes we say, I'm not angry, I just remember everything so clearly. Then we retell events from 40 years ago in excruciating detail. We remember the date. We remember the time. We remember the weather. That tells us one thing, our memories are actually still quite strong. But true wisdom lies in choosing which memories we hold on to with care. Life in old age is like a long journey with a suitcase. When we were young, we packed a lot into that suitcase. Ambitions, hopes, disappointments, hurts, but as the journey nears its end, we begin to realize that suitcase was too heavy, and only 1% of older adults have the courage to open it and say, I don't need to carry it all. They let go of the unnecessary burden. And the journey becomes lighter. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. Forgiveness is about you. It's not about who's right. It's about who wants to live more peacefully. If at 80 you can still say, it's okay. Let go of old mistakes. No longer want to retaliate. Then you have an extraordinary magnanimity. Because many people age. But not everyone becomes wiser. At this stage of life, the most valuable thing is not possessions, not position, not achievements, but peace. And peace comes when the heart is no longer full of battle. Imagine going to bed at night without replaying old anger. Imagine waking up in the morning without the shadow of past conflict. That's the gift of forgiveness, a gift to yourself. And we understand that the third rare ability at 80 is still being able to forgive and let go. Because forgiveness is a sign of a mature heart. A heart that has seen many seasons, and chosen peace. If you've reached that point, where the past no longer binds you, then you're among the 1% who are truly free. Next, we'll discuss the fourth ability. And perhaps this is the most touching. An ability that isn't visible in the mirror. It's not recorded in medical records. It can't be measured with numbers. But it's felt, deeply. The question is simple, at 80. Can you still feel loved, and still give love? If the answer is yes, then you are among the 1% who are truly rich in the truest sense. And we'll talk about the richness of the heart. When you're young, love often feels like a big fire. Full of passion, full of emotion, sometimes dramatic. But at 80, love changes form. It's no longer like a big fire. It's like a small lamp in the night, calm, steady, warm. And only a few people, in old age, still open their hearts to give and receive love. Why? Because over time, some hearts become closed. Because of disappointment, because of loss, because you're tired. But if you can still say, I care, I miss you, I'm grateful you're here, then your heart is still alive. Imagine an 85-year-old man. Every week he calls his old friend. Their conversation is simple. They talk about the weather, about health, about old memories. Nothing major, but before hanging up, he always says, "Thanks for listening," and his friend replies, "It's good to hear your voice." That's love in its simplest form. Not a grand romance. Not expensive gifts. Just attention. And attention is the purest form of love. Across the world, from big cities to small villages, seniors who maintain warm relationships tend to feel more meaningful. Not because they have many friends, but because they have a genuine connection. Just one person is enough. One person who listens. One person who cares. And what's even more beautiful, when you're still able to care for others, it means your heart hasn't hardened with time. Sometimes at this age, we talk more about health. How's your blood pressure? How's your knee today? But behind all that talk about health, there's actually a hidden message. I care about you. And that's a very real form of love. It might not sound romantic, but it's very human. Imagine life like a long river. At the beginning, the water is fast and powerful. In the middle, the current is strong and busy. But at the end, the river becomes calmer. The water is deeper. The movement is slower, but it's precisely at the end that the reflection of the sky is most clearly visible. Love at 80 is like that. Calmer, deeper, clearer. It doesn't need to be crowded to feel powerful. If you can still say thank you sincerely, holding someone's hand warmly, feeling happy when you see someone else happy, then you possess a wealth that not everyone possesses. Because many people live long lives, but not all of them remain open-hearted. And a heart that remains open is a sign of courage. At this stage of life, what people remember most is not our accomplishments. Not the amount of money, not the title, but how we made him feel. Did they feel appreciated, heard, loved? If at 80 you can still make someone feel better, then your life has an extraordinary light. And often, we don't realize how precious our presence is. Your little smile, your gentle words, your silent prayers, all of these are forms of love. And we complete a fourth rare ability at 80, still being able to give and receive love. Let's recall those four abilities: waking up in the morning with gratitude, laughing with a light heart, forgive and let go, give and receive love. If you have even one of these abilities, you're already special. If you have two or more, you're incredibly powerful. And if you have all four, then 80 isn't the end of the road. It's the pinnacle of wisdom. Life may slow down, but your depth is actually richer. And remember, age isn't about numbers. It's about keeping your heart burning. Before you leave this video, let me tell you something very important. If you've watched this far, it means one simple but powerful thing. You still care about your life. And that, not everyone has. At 80 or older, every day is no longer about how much you can accomplish. It's about how much you can be grateful for. We've talked about waking up with gratitude, about laughing with a light heart, about forgiving the past, about continuing to give and receive love. Four things that seem simple, But in fact, they are the sign of a mature heart. Maybe your body isn't as strong as it used to be. Maybe your steps are slower. Maybe your memory sometimes plays tricks. But if your heart is still warm, then you are still very rich. Imagine life like the evening sun. It's no longer as bright as midday. It's no longer hot and dazzling, but it's precisely at dusk that the sky becomes its most beautiful color, soft orange, golden red, calm, yet meaningful. Your age now is that beautiful twilight. Not a sign of impending darkness, but a sign that a long journey has been bravely traveled. And know this, your presence still matters, to family, to friends, even to those who only hear your voice. Your small smile can soothe, your gentle words can strengthen, your silent prayers can give hope. Never think that age makes you unimportant. In fact, your experience is a light for the next generation. And if you feel alone today, remember that in various parts of the world, there are many people your age who are also learning to enjoy the morning. Smile a little, and choose peace. You are not alone. Now, before we part ways, if this message touches your heart, please hit the like button to show your support. Share this video with friends, family, or loved ones who might need this kind of gentle encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next warm message. Turn on the notification bell to be notified when a new video arrives. And leave a comment below. Tell us one small thing that still makes you grateful today. Maybe a warm cup of tea. Maybe a call from your child. Maybe a beautiful morning sun. Small things, but meaningful. Thank you for spending time with us here. Thank you for choosing to keep your heart open. And remember, age isn't about how long we live. It's about how deeply we feel life. Until we meet again, stay warm, stay grateful, and keep being a light.